What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Paulie Black, aka the Don Paulion on Twitter. And as you already know, I am the realest fan on YouTube. And this is the 2014 Philadelphia Eagles draft recap. And if I had to use one word to describe this year's draft, it was underwhelming. And I really don't know how to feel. You know, the dust is settled, the smoke is cleared, and I really don't know how to feel about this draft class. Like, this is truly a draft class that GMs always say, well, you have to wait 2 or 3 years to see how these guys panned out. And I just don't know what to think about these guys. I mean, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan like myself, you sat in front of the TV and we got down to 22 and traded back to 26. We picked up an extra pick, and then this happened.
With the 26th pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Marcus Smith, linebacker, Louisville.
Now, one thing about me, if you know anything, if you know me, and if you don't know me, let me enlighten you about myself. I'm a big wrestling fan, and new school and old school, I'm a big wrestling fan. So the moment that Roger Goodell announced Marcus Smith as our draft pick, one thing popped into my head.
Who in the blue hell are you?
And I was like, really? Marcus Smith, linebacker from Louisville. And the only thing I can say is I don't know anything about the guy, so I can't talk bad about him. Okay, what I am going to do is set myself up with another video because, like I said, this is just a recap video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in, I'm going to do some more research on Marcus Smith and some of the other guys that they drafted and put together another video. You know, just maybe a feel-good video, I guess. You know, just to try to make myself and other Eagles fans feel a little better about these picks. Now, the Marcus Smith pick kind of threw us off. Now, the second pick, solid. It was Jordan Matthews. He was on my list. And before I get into the Eagles picks, I'm going to go through my list of guys that I had, offense and defense, and where they went. Now, let's start with the wide receivers. Like I said, I had Jordan Matthews, number 1, on my list. In my video, if you watched the wide receiver video, Eagles took him. So I was ecstatic about taking Jordan Smith. So let's go number 2, Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant with the Pitt. He went to Pittsburgh. Okay, so he's going to be out there with Roethlisberger. Number 3, Kelvin Benjamin. Now, Kelvin Benjamin was on the board for us. He was on the board for us, and we didn't take him. He went down to Carolina. So now Cam Newton has a true weapon. Yeah, they lost Steve Smith, but you just gave Cam Newton Kelvin Benjamin. Okay, so the Saints are really pissed at us. Okay, pissed. Now, the Saints did pick up the guy from, I think, Oregon State. I can't remember the guy's name right now. But they also picked up my number 4 wide receiver on my list, the guy who I wanted the Eagles to pick up, and that was Brandon Coleman. And they picked up Brandon Coleman as an undrafted free agent. Like, he didn't even get drafted. And I later found out that he didn't get drafted because they said at the combine he had some, injury problems, So that's why he didn't get drafted. But still, I mean, 6'6", 220, man, you can make that work. So now he's going to go down there with Drew Brees. So now Drew Brees is going to have Jimmy Graham, who's the other receiver? The guy they just drafted, Brandon Coleman, and oh my, you gotta be kidding me, man! Like, that's just ridiculous. That's just absolutely ridiculous. They went out and they got Bird off the free agency pool because their defense stunk, and then they just made the offense that much better by adding 2 receivers that are game changers. Like, that's just ridiculous. And then I had Devin Street. Devin Street got drafted by Dallas. All right. Then I had Cody Hoffman, who I said had hands like Chris Carter. He wound up going to the Redskins. Then I had, who else? I had Quincy Enunwa. He went to the Jets. And then I had my bonus pick that I gave out was Devontae Adams. He went to the Green Bay Packers. So he's going to be out there with Aaron Rodgers. So that just tell you what what kind of things they're going to be doing out there in Green Bay, and we see them this year. So expect to see Devontae Adams going coast to coast on that Eagles secondary. Trust me, it's going to happen. Now the linebackers on the defensive video, Atauchu went to San Diego, Ryan Shazier went to Pittsburgh. Pitt, boy. If Pittsburgh picked him as a linebacker, that means he's good. That is the official home of linebackers in the NFL. Pittsburgh, I don't know if they have some kind of meter that they go by, whatever they do, they know how to pick linebackers. And if they pick Ryan Shazier, believe you me, he's going to be able to do the job. He should have been an Eagle, okay? He should have been an Eagle. Christian Jones, who I said is an absolute beast. You saw the video. He went to Chicago. Adrian Hubbard from Alabama. He went to Green Bay. CJ Mosley, he went to Baltimore. Now, one of the guys I had on my list, Ishaq Williams, who I did not know. I didn't know that he backed out at the last minute and he stayed at Notre Dame. So he'll be at Notre Dame again this year, boosting his draft stock for next season. Now, my defensive backs, my guy, Craig Lawson, he went to Jacksonville. Kyle Fuller signed with Chicago. Vereen signed with Chicago. Dante Johnson signed with San Francisco. Who else? Lucas signed with Carolina. Lucas signed with Carolina. And that's pretty much it. Now, I will say one thing. One of the other guys that were on my list will be wearing Eagles green, and that is safety Ed Reynolds. And I'm telling you right now, 2 years, Ed Reynolds and Earl Wolf is running that secondary. Okay, they are running that secondary. I love Ed Reynolds. I showed you his stats. The guy is a player, okay? And I found out, they talked about it on one of the sports talk shows here in Philadelphia, that one of the criteria in the interview for defensive players was they didn't just sit down with Butch Davis, the defensive coordinator. They sat down with the whole defensive staff, and they had to go off of sheer memory, footage and plays right in front of the coaching staff on a blackboard, black marker, pretty much the same way Gruden does the quarterback camp. They had to pretty much do the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. They looked at some footage, and they had a defensive scheme, and they had to go up on the board and remember exactly who does what, where's the play going, what's going on. And what that shows me is Chip is looking for guys with a high football IQ, and that's fine, that's okay. But a high football IQ and a low talent level just doesn't mix, okay? I would rather have a guy who is kind of there, he's the talent level is without question. The football IQ, honestly, you can build a football IQ. If you want to become a better professional, you can build your football IQ. You don't have to come into the league, a genius, okay? You can build it. If you want to become a better player and work at it, that's what you'll do. So I'm thinking of, this draft, and I'm going to run through the 7 guys the Eagles drafted. Okay, like I said, they took Marcus Smith first, Jordan Smith second. Then they took Josh Huff from Oregon, one of Chip Kelly's guys. And I'm telling you, based on what I listen to on Sports Talk Radio here in Philadelphia, the fan base is getting pissed with these Oregon picks. Okay, we know these are Chip guys, but this Oregon thing and this Pac-12 thing is starting to wear itself thin. Okay, starting to wear itself thin, and after probably next season, Chip's not going to be able to go to that well anymore. Okay, so like I said, Josh Huff in the 3rd round, he's 5'11", 206 pounds. Then with the 4th pick, they took a guy named Jalen Watkins, defensive back. Now, you hear Watkins, and yes, he is the brother of Sammy Watkins, who went early in the 1st round. Okay, so you had one brother who was a wide receiver, and another brother who was a defensive back. So you know what that old adage is in football about defensive back. A defensive back is a wide receiver who can't catch. Okay, that's what they call them. That's what they say. A defensive back is a wide receiver that can't catch, just like a linebacker is a running back with the fumbles. Okay, that's what he is. That's what they say. Okay, then they took another Oregon guy, Taylor Hart. He's a defensive end, 6'6", 281. I don't have a problem with that. I like his size. That's pretty good size. Then they took Ed Reynolds, and then they took a guy at nose tackle named Bo Allen. He's probably going to share reps with the Eagles nose guard now, my man from LSU, Benny Logan, because Bo Allen is 6'2", 333, so he's just like a fire plug. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the. You know what? Why wait? I have here in front of me the 15 undrafted free agent rookies that the Eagles have signed. Okay, I'm going to give you the position, and I'm just going to give you, the height and weight on the guys. I'll go through, and I don't think I'm going to make a video about these guys, but I might pull out one or two guys that I find interesting. I might make a video about that. Okay, so let's start at the top. They picked up a guard from Oregon State named Josh Andrews, 6'2", 311. They picked up another tight end named Blake Annan from Cincinnati, 6'4", 247. They picked up Kareem Boston, a guard from Morgan State. Hey, a black university. Okay, Chip, I'm okay with it. I like that. That's thinking outside the box. 6'2", 313. They picked up a wide receiver named Kadron Boone, LSU, 6 foot 204. Another tight end, Trey Burton from Florida, 6'2", 224. David Flulin, from a running back from Toledo, 5'11", 224. John Fulton, cornerback, Alabama, 6 foot 195. Kevin Graff, a tackle, USC, 6'6", 309. Donald Hawkins, guard from Texas, 6'4", 301. Henry Josie, running back, Missouri, 5'8", 194. Wade Kalikapi, defensive tackle from Oregon, 6'2", 303. Datavian Lowe, safety, Oklahoma State, 5'11", 196. Frank Mays, defensive end from Florida A&M. Ho, another black school. Chip, putting that work in. I like that. Thinking outside the box. 6'9", 291. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna find out who this guy is. 6'9", 291. That's a whole lot of football player right there. They got a guy named Quoran Pratt, wide receiver from Rutgers. He played with my guy, Brandon Coleman. He's 5'11", 195. And last but not least, they have brought in a kicker named Kerry Spear from Vanderbilt. He's 5'9", 194. His nickname is Murder Leg. Yes. Yeah. I said it right. His nickname is Murder Leg. Okay. So that's the 15 free agent rookies the Eagles have brought in, along with the 7 draft picks. And I can't really talk bad about this draft. I just don't know enough about Marcus Smith. So when I do the next video, I'm going to pull out maybe 5 to 6 guys from this list and do a little update video on these guys. I'm not going to include Jordan Matthews or Ed Reynolds because I already did them. So I'll definitely going to do Marcus Smith. I may take a look at Jalen Watkins. I'm definitely going to take a look at this guy from Florida A&M, Frank Mays, 6'9", 291. Definitely going to take a look at him and maybe a few other guys on this list. If there's anybody in particular you'd like me to take a look at from this list, you want to know more about, just message me, let me know, and I'll check them out. Now, coming up next, I'm going to be doing a Philadelphia 76ers draft lottery video. Okay, this is not just football. I'm going to pretty much cover all sports. I really don't know a lot about hockey. I can watch hockey. I can watch playoff hockey. Let's be clear about that. I can watch playoff hockey, and I can see the intensity, and I have nothing but respect for hockey players because let me tell you something. It's different running around, but when you have to balance yourself on skates and get at those speeds and make the moves that you make, you are an athlete. Okay, just because it's not a predominantly black played sport doesn't mean that it doesn't take a lot of skill to play it. Okay, I can, like I said, I can watch playoff hockey and I can follow the game. I don't know all the rules. I don't know what all the positions responsibilities are, like the forwards and the wingers and all that stuff. I don't really know how those guys, what their actual description for their position is. But I can watch playoff hockey because as just a sheer competitor, you can see the intensity in the game. Okay, you don't have to be a hockey fan not to notice the intensity of that game at that level in the playoffs. So with that said, I'm going to sit back, do some more research, another video about some of these guys off this list, the 7 that we drafted. I'm gonna pull a couple of the undrafted free agent rookies, and if I had to give a grade right now for this draft, I'm gonna have to go incomplete. Originally, the night of the draft, I was fired up. I came right out the next day, man, this is a C. This draft is a C. But you gotta let the dust settle. You got to let the smoke clear, and you got to let your emotions calm down. I was thinking as a fan, and not so much as an evaluator. So now I'm looking at this draft, and I have to give it an incomplete until we see what these guys can do. Until they put the pads on and walk out on the grass, I have to wait and see what they can do. OTAs have started here in Philadelphia, so we'll see. I'll keep my ear to the ground. I'll keep you updated on any and everything I'm doing. So as far as, like I said, a grade, I'm going to give it an incomplete. But thanks for checking this video out. I hope you enjoyed the other videos. It makes me feel good. It gives me, I feel like it gives me a little credibility that 2 of the guys that I had on my list, at the top of my list, were actually drafted by my team, Jordan Matthews and Ed Reynolds. So I'm not just some guy sitting back guessing. Everything about me and what I do is backed up with fact, and you can look anything up because I get all my stuff from the same websites you can go to and double check my facts. So once again, EAGLES Eagles. Thanks for checking out the video. Holla at your boy one time.
Shutdown sequence initiated. Shutting down.